Check, check. Hey, what is happening, everyone? What's going on, world? This is Marcus, and we are back for another Black Comics Chat. It feels for me like it's been a minute because I missed the last episode. Thelonious held it down like gravity with Blurred Girl, speaking to our homeboy, of PB Soldier, putting on Chemfest, which I heard was a success. So, definitely some good things happening in the blurred sphere and the Black comic sphere. But tonight, this is it's kind of a first for us. It's the first time that we've just had the Black Comics Chat Crew without a guest. I'm gonna go around and do the introductions, and we're gonna just talk about some comics and pop culture and other things that have been popping off. So first up, we got the homie T Legend holding it down like gravity. We got Thelonious in the house, the Quiet Storm himself.
Hey, what to do, Black Comic Chat fans? Back to back with the crew. It's been a eventful week, so let's get into it tonight. We're gonna touch on a few topics. Some I like, some I don't like, but we're gonna make it happen. Let's do this.
No doubt. And next up, speaking of things we like, we got writer of Snow Days first and foremost, and also writes for Black Girl Nerds. You see him all over the internets. You know what it is. We got my partner in crime and brother from another mother. We got Leo in the house.
Yo, what's going on, Black Comic Chat audience? This is cool. Isn't that crazy? We haven't had a single episode where it's just us.
Never.
Ever. Like there's always been something like that shit is like impressive to me. When this date was coming up and we were like, yeah, let's just do it. I'm like, this will give us an opportunity because we love having guests. We love like promoting the content of independent writers and artists. But it's like I always feel like we have these episodes where there's like 45 minutes of shit we still have to say, and like it's like, nah, it's over. Like we gotta go. Yeah. And it's like, all right, this is like house cleaning today. We can get through a bunch of this stuff. Let's talk about all the old feuds that me and Thelonious had that we never got to resolve. We'll bring them all up tonight. We'll dust off those gems. But no, I'm super excited for a chill show on this fine day, enjoying my free sponsored healthcare.
No doubt. Well, speaking of which, today we definitely got to do a little victory lap for just basically for Americans who are in need of healthcare, which is everybody at some point, because the Republicans decided that they were not going to hold a vote on because they didn't have the votes for their lousy, disgusting Voldemort-style healthcare plan.
So it's a Pyrrhic victory, though, man.
It is.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a Pyrrhic victory. So basically, the Freedom Caucus was like, this healthcare bill doesn't suck enough. It doesn't kill enough people fast enough.
Right. And I use absolutely, because I say victory in the sense that.
And so Donald Trump was like, well, we can do better. We'll take care of pre-existing conditions, emergency visits. And I was like, nah, still not good enough.
The tax cuts.
Yeah. And so then the insane, regretted on the corner of insane as far as Republicans are. The kind of the Republicans was like, well, wait a minute. I can't win re-election if I vote for this, so I'm out, son.
Of course, I mean, obviously, this wasn't about conscience in the least.
No. But I mean, like, you know, again, we haven't had a shitload of victories lately, so I'm kind of
Exactly.
Well, don't get me wrong. I'm tap dancing. I'm tap dancing on his grave.
This one, but no, it's not glory or anything.
Right. The Paul Ryan crying Michael Jordan memes have been magic. So. Absolutely. No, it's true. But and I also think that there's like and you know, BCC usually doesn't get that political, so we could just like wrap it. That's why we brought up at the beginning of the hour, right? But yeah, it's like there's also something to be said like about people being loud, about like, you know, individuals letting their representatives know shit. There is of course the factor about re-election, clearly, but there is also like this thing where, you know, that re-election can reflect really negatively on them if they supported something that, you know, defunded their constituents. So it's a small, we could clap a little bit.
We'll see. So I'm okay. You're right. We're not gonna talk about this too much tonight, but I'm gonna just say this: the Republican Party doesn't legislate.
It's true.
They don't.
It's true.
And they haven't for a while. If it's not passing tax cuts or trying to basically limit, you know, environmental protection policies or whatever, they don't have a lot to go back to.
Right.
The one go-to bag, the one move is, you know, tax cuts.
Yeah.
After that, there's too many regulations for businesses, for pharmaceutical companies, for industrialists. We need to get rid of some of the regulations so we can start bringing jobs back.
Right.
You know, never mind the fact, you know, people want to drink water and breathe clean air, and the reason those jobs are gone in the first place is because there are archaic, antiquated industries. I don't care how much you're gonna let a coal person pollute the water. It's not financially feasible for them to bring those jobs back. So I mean, you know, there's that.
Yeah, definitely. And then not only that, but they're, as a party, they're really just accustomed to obstruction for the last 8-9 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when it comes time to actually govern, if it's not obstruction, I don't think
there's nothing in there. It's hollow. There's nothing in there. So they don't really have like, you know, any kind of, you know, any qualities of integrity or, you know, real like real plans or vision for meaningful, you know, change. Aside from lining their pockets and fucking over the poor.
And so I think, and I don't know if y'all been following what's been going on with the Trump's administration ties to Russia. It's about to get real.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, it's about to get real, man. And I've been following. I don't know if his name was Dan Abrams. He's a lawyer. He meticulously documented every contact with Russian and timeline or whatever, and what the FBI is looking at. And these investigations take a long time. They said it took 2 years for Watergate. It might take 2 years for this, but it's happening. And when he takes, he's going to take like half of the infrastructure Republican Party with him, because Breitbart was in on this as far as promoting stories that they were fed by Russia in a concerted effort to do damage to Hillary Clinton. And dude, it's about to get ill. But you know, let's talk about comics.
Yeah, all right. Okay, yeah, that's good. We got it out. Ooh.
Right. Before we do that, I cannot forget to send a shout out to the conscience of Black Comics Chat, the world traveler, the Honorable Grace. You know, she's off tonight. She's taking care of some personal business, but you know, you're definitely in our thoughts and you are here with us in spirit. So shout out to Grace. Absolutely. And get back soon to the mic.
Yeah, it's like there's no adults in the house. It's like,
hey man, I'm an adult.
No, Marcus,
I'm an adult.
Marcus, you're like the cool babysitter we can like bug to let us do what we want.
Be like, no. Be like me and Leo's like, Mom always used to stay up and drink beer.
Exactly.
I'll be that. I kind of am the cool babysitter, no doubt.
All right, let's wreck this joint, man.
Yeah, okay. Let's do it. So yeah.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead.
No, I was like, can we jump into talking about Legion real quick?
Do it.
So yeah, like, you know, as I hinted at earlier tonight, I did want to like have some words about Legion. Now, maybe like when Legion first started, me and Thelonious had like a 2-second online conversation about it. It's never been brought up on the show, where I was like, "Yo, Legion's pretty dope," and he's like, "You're crazy." And then that was it. And then we didn't talk.
That was a conversation, yeah.
Like literally that. and I was like, all right. And then I watched Legion, and as I'm watching Legion, I got a little Thelonious on my shoulder, and I'm like, what is this really some shit? So I watched it now with a lot of suspicion, and I did like it, but I had a lot of doubts, and those doubts I think are related to comic book TV shows in general. Now, I'm sure that members of our audience, as well as people, members of the crew, have watched more comic shows than me. There are comic shows that I have missed. I've watched some of the big ones, but I've missed stuff. I haven't seen Agent Carter, for instance, or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Arrow. These are all big ones. I know people love them or love some of them, whatever. But some of that is that I'm always suspicious of comic book shows. I feel like I can see the cliches brewing. I feel like I can see them getting weird. I feel like I can anticipate all the plot twists. I feel like I can anticipate the shitty acting by at least a bunch of people on it. So I watched Legion with all those that insecurity, that kind of where's this gonna go? And I was just continuously surprised at the fact that it kept me, and that it presented new ideas, and that it did new things and played with the structure and experimented with relationships. So I am all the way in on Legion right now, and it's episode 7. The finale is this Sunday. If anybody's listening to Black Comic Chat and wants to chime in if they've seen Legion, let me know how y'all feel. I was talking with some of you earlier today on Twitter, but I know that Thelonious doesn't feel this way. So first, Thelonious, I have to know, how much of it have you seen? Did you just watch episode 1, or have you seen some of it?
So I watched the first episode, and I thought I was drunk. I was like, wow.
Out?
Yeah, I was like, wow, that was,
What was it about the first episode that got your goat?
I mean, it was so, first of all, the cinematography I thought was great. But then it was it wasn't a real linear storyline, and I didn't understand what it was going for. It felt like somebody was trying to do Mr. Robot, and then just forgot what they were doing and be like, oh yeah, this is supposed to be a mutant show. It's to me, it's an amalgamation of Mr. Robot and a bunch of other bad stuff. But
what, you call Mr. Robot bad?
No, Mr. Robot is only. So Mr. Robot is probably one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, me too.
I think it took storytelling.
Just check.
Use them pretty much as somebody that's suffering from a psychotic break as the narrator, and so you can't trust what the narrator is telling you. I think it took it to a whole new level. I think Legion tries to do that and fails miserably.
I think I'm probably the most critical of Mr. Robot on this show, while still liking it. I do like Mr. Robot, but I feel like I'm probably the one that's the most down on it, if anyone, in this crew. I feel like Mr. Robot whiffs the ball a ton of times, and it's funny.
Now we're gonna have to have a fight, but no,
we can.
This is why me and Leo don't get along, man.
No, but I do really like Mr. Robot. I don't want to get it twisted. I'm there for that show for sure. But I have lots of issues with it.
So am I wrong with Legion? I'm just Legion is this.
Before, because I know Leo's got a lot to say, and I definitely don't want to undercut you. But I will just say this:
you've seen episode 1, Marcus. So
right. So I've seen exactly as much as Thelonious has seen, and obviously, being that there's a question of mental health in Legion, and there was there's questions as to what is real and what is not. Definitely it popped into my head that some comparisons could be drawn to Mr. Robot, but I feel like beyond those broad strokes, that's where the comparison ends. And I was in it kind of for some of the same reasons I am with Mr. Robot, because I could tell it's something where they're gonna slowly keep peeling back the layers on what's what. But I just really dug the fact that, to me, the whole mental health aspect, I don't even know if it's that he's mentally ill, or if it's just that these various aspects of his personality as a mutant are, you know what I mean, he doesn't have a grasp on what they are yet.
You know what a show that does mental health well? You're the Worst.
I haven't seen that.
Anyway, well, yeah.
I've only seen a little of season 2, but I saw all of season 1. You're the Worst is great.
So I think You're the Worst really handles mental health well. I think what Leo said with Mr. Robot whiffs, I think Legion whiffs.
Well, wait.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Leo. Go ahead, Leo.
All right. So, I mean, we have to. I like. First of all, I think the comparison to Mr. Robot is interesting. Because I actually didn't think about that watching it. I guess like because I mean, Mr. Robot didn't create the unreliable narrator genre.
Right. Not at all. Not at all.
But I do think there are interesting comparisons to be made between the shows. However, Legion is still not only is Legion a comic book show, but from my understanding, Legion is a comic book show that's meant to deliberately click with the X-Men movies. Are you familiar with that? Yes.
That I was unsure of just because of the fact that Fox is kind of they don't necessarily.
I know. I read online that it is deliberately in universe, which I think is really interesting. So I mean, again, like Legion's the background of Legion, it gets to play with things that Mr. Robot doesn't, obviously, because Mr. Robot is like creating its fiction from whole cloth, and Legion has a lot to tap from. Now, the thing that I feel like I connect with Legion a lot about is that, like, I mean, one, I think that the mental health material in that show, I believe it's handled excellently. I think that the main character is difficult. He's a difficult character, both like in the sense that he can be kind of like pressuring on the viewer because he's intense and rambling.
But you should be able to relate to your main character. I mean, he doesn't have to be likable, but if he's a jerk, like a Madman, Draper was a jerk, but I mean, he was still.
I want to hear what Leo was saying, but I have a thought on that. I definitely have a thought on what you just said. But
I'm through with listening to Leo. It's a wrap for me, man.
Gentlemen.
Oh, okay. All right. Go ahead, Leo.
All right,
about to say something silly? I'm sorry.
All right. No. So what I'm about to say is that in Legion, I mean, no, so in Mr. Robot, there is no dispute that he has mental problems. Like that's part of the character.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's like the question is always, how bad are they? Not like, does he have them, or is this real?
Right.
It's like most of it's probably not real.
Like how much
Mr. Robot does that well. Mr. Robot does that well.
But Legion actually isn't about the questions that Legion asks, and especially like the further on you go, is this real? For the most part, in fact, a big portion of the series is actually about a kind of like fictional like world, and the fictional world as it's established, there's no question about the reality of it. It's not introduced to you like like the prison in Mr. Robot, where it's like, is it? I don't know. Oh, is this what's going on? It's like there's a fantasy, and they're contending with the fantasy and fighting it. What the best parts of that whole arc, what they remind me of is like a really, really wild Grant Morrison storyline. Like the parts of Legion that I love are kind of.
You know what? I never thought about it like that, Leo. You convinced me.
It is like a lot of it is very very Grant Morrison. Like if I'm one of the people that's a big fan of Grant Morrison's X-Men run, and like especially like the kind of like weird bendy stuff he does with Xavier. Like there's this like important scene in that arc where he where Jean Grey, like to rescue Xavier, she like takes his entire consciousness and like puts it inside of her for like a while, and then like takes it out and puts it back inside of him, and then like that like changes her forever because like he didn't realize that she was that impressive and Omega level mutant to do that. Now it's not presented in the show, and nor it's not mentioned in words, but Legion is Omega level. Like in the X-Men universe, like Legion is like unto a god. But the character that you're introduced to within the show is like a broken person. It's like he doesn't even understand what's going on, nor does he understand like how exactly powerful he is. And as the show keeps going, like you get hints and like concepts of this. Like he is like, I think they in the comics, it's been a while since I read much X-Men, but like in the comics, there's something about the god gene, the god mutant gene or something. It's like he has that. Like he is essentially a deity, the equivalent of a deity, except he's a mutant. And of course, he has interesting parentage, which the show hasn't really, they've hinted at but haven't shown. So that all that wild Grant Morrison like nut stuff, which like I really don't see on TV in any other shows. I certainly don't see in Mr. Robot is concerned about different things. He has different fish to fry than that. That stuff is at play in Legion, and it just layers on it and like builds on it the further you go into the series. So I love that. I love the wildness of its narrative, and beyond that, I love the relationships in the show. If you've watched it a little further, you'll see there are like some really, really interesting relationships, both romantic and otherwise, that I have not seen in a comic book TV show ever.
I will not be watching it any further, so I have to take your word for it.
Oh, you hate it that much?
Dude, it sucks. Dude, I mean, I listened to Leo wax Rhexotic about this show for like 15 minutes, and I hate it more. I mean, I'm just like, there's nothing. I mean, and this is like different so for different folks, and so we can like agree to disagree, whatever.
Right.
But I'm like, man, I can't even. I want to move on to the next segment. I mean, because the show sucks that much. I mean, it's taking like all the oxygen in the room, and I'm just like, the narrative is jumbled, is garbled. The main dude, the protagonist, has no charisma. There's no reason why I would like him. The only reason I would identify with him. The cinematography is interesting. It does some things, but to the point of distraction. And I'm just like, I'm good. And I watched like 2 or 3 episodes, and I'm like, oh my god, this is like the worst thing I've ever seen. And I wanted to give it a shot because somebody was like, Legion's not bad, and I was like, I think I unfollowed that person. So
you act like Legion punched you in the face, man. Like,
and took my lunch money. Yes,
yeah,
no, he bet like not Thelonious. Instead of coming up with like 6 different ways to say it sucks, he came up with 6 repeated sentences that says
right.
Yeah,
he said it sucks, and then he said it again.
It's like the player hater's ball.
Creative. I mean, I'm not going to get creative and be elaborate about something that doesn't deserve those type of brain cycles.
Did you watch Fargo, either season 1 or 2?
I watched the first season of Fargo. I thought it was good.
I mean, that's the same guy. Like, I didn't know that when
I don't care. I mean, what does that matter?
I'm just mentioning that this is a guy who I also feel pretty confident knows what he's doing. Interestingly, though, when I started Legion, I didn't know that. Like, I hadn't heard that it was the same guy who does Fargo that's like doing this show, this comic book show that he has no history or background working on comic book properties at all. I don't even think he was familiar with the comics. Like, so it's really like somebody's like fresh investment in this concept, which it
looks like somebody yeah, I could believe that he didn't read the comics doing that show. I could believe that.
Man.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean,
Thelonious is like player hater's ball. He's like,
no,
I hate you. I hope all the bad things in life happen to you and nobody but you.
Seriously, I mean, all right. Like it's to me, it's the second best show I've seen this year. The first best being Taboo is the best show I've seen this year so far.
Oh, I saw the promos for that. I haven't watched that yet.
That's another short FX season. It's 8 episodes. I thought that was like one of the best things on TV I've seen in quite a long time. Yeah, FX is killing it, and then we got Fargo coming up later on this year. So
I think the best show on TV is This Is Us.
It is. I'm a little bit behind it. I mean, I don't know if I'm
a little behind, but I'm a little behind.
It's
up there. It is super up there.
It's one of the best. I don't know if it's.
You know what's funny? It's funny you bring that up. I was talking to somebody at a bar earlier this week, and they were like, because they were talking about how like they like to watch reality shows and like junk food TV. And I was like, look, I like junk food TV, but I can't watch reality shows. Like, they don't equate that for me. But and so we were like, well, what's a good show? And she was like, I don't know. And I'm like, do you watch This Is Us? And she's like, oh, that's totally junk food. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, you think This Is Us is junk food? Huh. And she was like, yeah. She's like, it's just emotional junk food. It just like makes you cry all the time, and like that's it. And I'm like, huh. I disagree with that. I disagree with that sentiment. But like, I wonder if people do kind of like watch it just as this kind of like, I want to watch the crying show.
I haven't thought about that. I haven't thought about that because, and this isn't me trying to be like, yo, I'm tough or whatever. But I have not actually shed a tear watching it. But I will say maybe part of why I haven't shed a tear is because there's become this whole culture of people talking about how much it makes them cry, and it's almost like performative to me. So. I don't know. Like I feel like I feel it's like there's like such a buildup about how it's gonna make you cry that it's like it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like I appreciate. Yeah, like but it hasn't. I mean, like I love it. I think it's really well done, and I love what they're doing up to the point I've seen.
I mean, that's what art is supposed to challenge you when they elicit emotions. I mean, so.
And it does. Don't get me wrong. It certainly elicits my emotions. Like it really does.
I mean, I've cried watching it while watching it, thinking to myself, like, I'm not gonna cry at this fucking show that like always makes me cry, and then I've cried. Yeah. so I mean, the fact that I know they're doing it and it still works is pretty impressive.
Maybe I'm a robot, man. I don't know.
Yeah, Marcus, why don't you just like tap into your emotional self? That's always my thought.
It's like, you remember Buster Bluth when he was like, he's a robot.
That's right.
Marcus is throwing kids out the window. This show sucks. I don't know why y'all watching this. Ain't nothing gonna make me cry.
God damn, Thelonious. I mean, okay.
What?
How do you feel? How do you feel though, Thelonious?
Hey, can we talk about tinfoil fist? I mean, Irish fist. I mean, Iron Fist.
All right, head it off, man. Go for it.
All right, so
full disclosure, I haven't seen it yet, but you can spoil whatever. I don't care.
All right,
I feel like I can say what I need to say without spoiling.
Did you both watch it all?
Oh Lord, look, I tried. I got up to.
It was on while I was working.
Oh, so you've seen the entire season?
Entire series ran.
Okay. And you know what? Thelonious brings up a very good point because all right. So let me rewind. First of all, Thelonious, are you going to spoil it all? Should we give a spoiler warning or?
I mean, what spoilers? I mean,
right. I'm not really going to spoil anything big. This might be spoiler light,
but you know, I mean, so beating up on Iron Fist is kind of like the end thing to do. It's like all the cool kids are doing it, and so you want to be.
I have some well thought out.
Come with some creative thing, but
I have some well thought out precision cuts for Iron Fist.
I gave Legion. It sucks.
All right. Well, that's cool. That's cool.
I went to college for 4 years. So.
Yeah, no. Tap into your real critic. He's doing the Jay Sherman right now.
No, exactly. It's gonna be like, yo, Thelonious, can you elaborate? He's gonna be like, well, it blows. All right. So I'll begin. First of all, obviously, the elephant in the room is that pretty much everybody on this show, pretty much everybody within our circle of influence of what we do, we were all on board with the idea of Asian American Iron Fist, right? I can say that, right? Everybody agrees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was totally on board with it.
Right. And for anyone who may have been under a rock, I'll just quickly reprise. Iron Fist is a character created in the 70s when Marvel sought to capitalize on the popularity of kung fu, and
thanks to the biggest international star at the time, Bruce Lee.
That's right.
Right. Absolutely. And in classic American Hollywood entertainment fashion, Roy Thomas, who we'll get to later, but Roy Thomas saw fit to cast him this new kung fu hero as a white man, which full disclosure, like I've read some Iron Fist books over the years that I like, so it's not like I
used to read Farman and Iron Fist. I mean,
exactly. So it's not even like
I thought they were good books.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm not even saying. I mean, they're good books with issues, kind of like Power Man was good with issues.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, they're flawed books, and that's what you have when you don't have a diverse team of editors, writers, and artists. But as far as we're great on the curve here, they were some of the in the 80s when I was reading them. I think they were only some of the only books where there was a cast of color, with Misty Knight and Luke Cage. And,
yep. No, you're right. You're right.
So,
right. And
Tombstone. He was
right.
White, but
but he's albino. I really like what David Walker's been doing with Tombstone and all those characters. But anyway, we'll get back to that. So anyway, so obviously, Danny Rand has historically been white, but and he was in a lot of ways has been the white savior kung fu martial arts trope, where he basically he's a master that outperforms all of the Asian people in the story and beats up a lot of Asian people. Now, in recent years, as the big two have recognized the profitability of creating diverse characters, a lot of characters have been race bent over the years, and people like our homie Keith Chow, they saw this as a perfect opportunity. If we're race bending anyway, in an effort to update these characters with the times, why not cast Iron Fist as an Asian American character? Which we all agree with, that being said,
I thought it was a big miss.
It was a big miss
to not do it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. To not do it.
We should also shout out at this point, I guess, Keith Chow, who I believe is the originator of the hashtag from Nerds of Color.
Yeah, I shout him out, but yeah, definitely shout out to Keith. Shout out to Nerds of Color. For setting that off. So anyway. So obviously, Marvel, Scott Buck, the showrunner, they chose to go in a different direction, and they,
Is that the showrunner's name, Scott Buck?
Yeah, Scott Buck, I believe so. Yeah,
that's a white man's name.
It's a decidedly white name.
Scott Buck.
I'm Scott Buck.
That's a pickup truck name. All right, go on. I'm sorry, Marcus. Continue.
It's decidedly white. Right. So,
it's white with the H.
With the H. You got the H before.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm interrupting.
No, it's all good. So anyway. So he decided that, like, he was, by all reports, that he was gonna go white. He was gonna go white with Danny Rand. There's been a big war online. Blah blah blah. So anyway, fast forward to the series. I was disappointed with everyone else going in with the fact that not only did they cast a white Iron Fist, but I would argue even if you're going to cast a white Iron Fist, they didn't even cast the best white actor to play Iron Fist. Right. But I digress. So anyway, they cast Finn Jones, formerly seen on Game of Thrones.
Night of Flowers. Yep.
Right. So anyway, so I went in, keeping my mind open. You know what I'm saying? I knew
as much as you could.
Right. I knew I was disappointed with the them not casting an Asian American Iron Fist, especially somebody like Louis Tan, who, for people in the Twitter sphere, I'm sure he would have killed that role. He would have killed that. Exactly. Oh yeah. God. And that's one of my biggest beefs, because Louis Tan, who is an actual martial artist, a masterful martial artist and stuntman and an actor, like, he had pretty much all the ingredients to kill it. Yet the role he ended up with
was, except the blonde hair and blue eyes.
Yeah. Right. But the role he ended up with,
physicality and charisma to it. That
absolutely.
Jones, I mean, come on.
His one fight outdid all of the fights that Finn Jones was involved in. But
it's a low bar though.
Absolutely, but he did his thing. But he only had one fight. I'm getting ahead of myself though. So let's rewind. All right, last Friday, Marcus is like, all right, let me put this on. I'm gonna see what's popping. Keeping an open mind. First scene, they show barefoot Danny, walking around, kind of gave me a little flashback, a little PTSD to my art school days about the white kids that would walk around with no shoes on in the art building, getting tetanus, stepping on things.
Yeah. Wearing pajamas to math class.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, he steps out in the streets, and then I hear a very familiar drum line, and I'm like, I know those drums, that's So Fresh and So Clean. So Outkast comes on, and I'm like, oh, all right. And then I got a little upset because they were pandering to me, and it's also like a bad joke.
Right.
Because he's not So Fresh and So Clean. Right. And it's like, haha.
Ironic or something.
He's listening to So Fresh and So Clean.
Oh my God, look how brilliant we are.
Yeah, depth.
Exactly.
That's character depth right there.
Yeah. So that was strike one right there, right? So then I'm watching, stuff's happening, and I'm like, all right, you don't have to jump right into the kung fu. I get it. We need to establish the world, the situation, blah, blah, blah. But it's like boardroom, office room, blah, blah, blah. And to me, I have dubbed the show the boardroom drama of the Marvel Universe, because that's essentially what you get. I understand that being a part of the storyline because Danny Rand is, the heir to the Rand Corporation, la-di-da, but it's like
do they play
overwhelming. They beat you over the head with office stuff. And the very early on in the series, you're introduced to Ward and Joy Meacham, the children of Danny Rand's father's business partner, who's not a good dude. And I swear, as long as you could definitely speak on this, but they drag you through all the minutia of these 1%er, just kind of, they were annoying to me. Joy and Ward were just like the face of the 1% at a time right now when I would argue that most of us really aren't looking for 1% protagonists in what we're consuming, and we got dragged through that. So then we get to see Danny do such things as sneak into an office building sneak into an apartment. The whole thing felt like Danny ran Boy Detective, you know, and
is
not
that
a good.
the way that you're structuring the characters and such? Is this is this not all white people the show?
No,
Is that like one of its intentions? Like, is it like, yeah, because Danny's not like these guys. Danny's like
okay. I'm glad that you mentioned that. I'm glad that you mentioned that because I saw what they were trying to do, right? Like Danny would come around and he would repeat his Zen sayings and everything, but there was just a horrific character inconsistency going on. And I'm not talking about like, oh, you know, all human beings have contradictions. I'm talking about like, it was just inconsistent. So Danny would 1 second Danny would be all zen and he'd be all like, hey, I've been away from the fast pace of New York and I've been, you know, living in Kunlun and I've been there since I was 10, blah de da. And he's saying, you know, all his zen wisdom, air quotes. And the next second, like he's acting like a total, like, you know, rich douchebag. Like there's one scene with you know, Colleen Wing, who is played very well by Christina Henwick, I believe is her last name, and she does her thing. She's an Asian actress, and you know, she killed it. Again, she's also somebody who actually knows martial arts, which Finn Jones does not. But you know, she did her best with what they gave her, I will say.
I agree with that.
So anyway, like the show, she establishes herself very early on as a strong character, which is another way that they kind of missed an opportunity because I feel like they didn't let her lead enough, you know. And she's running a martial arts school. She's, you know, she's starting out. She's new. She's looking for new students. She's doing her thing, and she meets Danny in the park, and he, you know, mistakes him as homeless. Although I guess he is homeless at the point that but he refuses to take her money.
He's a homeless billionaire.
Exactly, he's a homeless billionaire.
Is that true? Is that why he refuses to take her money?
Because he's a prick.
It's one of the inconsistencies, right?
It absolutely is
outside of the raging, you know, misogyny.
Yeah, yes, and I was about to get to that. I mean, you know, Florence, you could pick up the ball on that too, because that the way that he interacts with the women on the show, that's where it's inconsistent because he's supposed to be such a good guy, but then he interacts with women, just always telling them what to do, never listening to them, even when they've got a really strong point. You know what I mean?
Which is what Finn Jones would do.
Exactly. He's got that kind of face. He's got a mansplaining ass face.
I would agree with pretty much everything you're saying, Marcus. For somebody to be like a Buddhist monk and to be centered in Zen or, you know, or whatever, he loses it like every episode. I'm like, I got like more Zen than him. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? This cat like loses it and he gets emotional and he gets angry. And I was like, I don't know. And granted, I didn't go to school with a lot of Buddhist monks, but I think one of the tenets of Buddhism or whatever, I think is, you know, not let your anger or not let your emotions get the best of you.
Right.
That never happens, and it could be like little stuff. I mean, little things. When you know, Rosario Dawson say "life for dinner," he was like, "Oh, you're gonna ruin this for me." You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, like,
yeah. I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't seem centered right now, bro. I mean, a lot of cats are happy with this. If you play your cards right, this could work out for you.
Especially since, you know, he wasn't really coming off very smooth to begin with. He should have been happy that Rosario was.
Here's what worries me, man. How are they going to? This is going to take some amazing writers, and they should call me to make this cat so that Misty Knight would find him interesting.
That's the other thing I was saying. Like, I'm historically, I've been here for Danny and Misty, but like the version of Misty that Simone Missick just like killed, that she just did her thing and brought Misty Knight to life. I don't see
that had coffee with.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't see that Misty being like, oh yeah, bossy man.
I believe in Kunlun disappearing every 14 and 15 years and a white dude with an iron fist before I believe a sister would get with, you know, that cat.
Right.
But let me qualify that. A sister of Misty's caliber.
Right. Okay, Misty is the bomb.
And this is not like Black, White, Earth. That dude just ain't got no game, dog. I mean,
yeah, absolutely,
you know,
absolutely.
you know, because you could put a white cat with some swag in there. You know what I'm saying? And I'd be like, okay, all right, you know, I can see it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't see it, dog. I can't
Look,
see it.
I'll do you one better. I feel like they did not sell me on why why Colleen was feeling him. You know, slight
He
spoiler.
was the only guy that was in frame with her.
Yo, okay, but like, and this is a slight spoiler for anyone who hasn't watched, but you know, at some point, you know,
this is not a spoiler-free thing. If you haven't watched Iron Fist, you know,
it's light spoilers.
I feel like if you're listening to Black Comics Chat and you haven't watched Iron Fist, like you're basically like me. Like either you're going to and don't care, or you're never going to.
Well, that's a very good point because I've yet to finish the series, and I did put on a podcast earlier in the week. It was Fanbro Special Delivery, and I was like, they said they were going to spoil it, and I thought about it, and I was like, whatever. I listened to it. Yeah, exactly. I listened to it because I'm like, because I listened to the spoilers because I was like, basically like, look, I know they're not gonna blow my mind with anything they're going to do.
Nothing great happens.
Right.
I mean, nothing great happens at the end, in the middle, of the beginning. There's like this. I mean, there's no spoilers. You can't do anything. He gets into a fight.
No, he doesn't even get into a fight though. So
here's my thing. In that first Daredevil,
right,
it was like some incredible, brutal, you know, fight scene.
Exactly. Yeah, it was really street fight type stuff.
Right. Yeah, and Daredevil set the bar.
Yeah.
Jessica Jones. I mean, nice, you know, street fights. Luke Cage when he's playing Wu-Tang.
I love the fights in Luke Cage.
And he's wrecking. I mean, there's not one. There's not one.
There's no clips trailer fight in it.
Oh, they tried.
No, there's no rewind and be like, ooh, what just happened?
Right.
What I missed?
Right, exactly. Because they tried because there's one scene where, you know, I believe it's in a hallway. You know what I mean? And it's like you could tell
they
that's
went back to the old hallway.
Right, but you could tell they intended for that to be this show's version of the hallway fight, but no, not at all, man. Not at all.
No, there's no Daredevil hallway fight, and there's no Daredevil stairway fight.
There's a hallway fight like Daredevil.
I don't know, Thelonious. I feel like you're kind of cursing Daredevil to say that.
Okay, so let me qualify this. There's the logistics of it are there's a hallway with a bunch of bad dudes.
Right. Okay.
Finn Jones, right? This cat he grew up with. And that's where the similarities stop.
Okay, yeah, I will give you that. They did have bad dudes, and they did have a hallway, and that's about it.
Hey, did you guys ever watch that series Kung Fu?
Yeah.
The Kung Fu was on par with that.
Right.
I have a soft spot for Kung Fu, but it's mad problematic. I know.
The Kung Fu was on par with that. Probably one of the best fight scenes is probably Colleen Wing in the cage.
Yeah. Oh, and let's talk about that though. Like Colleen Wing again, you know, and I need to correct myself. I said Christine Henwick. Jessica. Yeah, Shannon pointed out as Jessica Henwick, which I knew, but I don't know, whatever. But yes, Jessica.
That's why Shannon's there to like pick up all her fuck ups.
Exactly. Big up to Shannon. Big up to Shannon of Nerds of Prey.
Yeah.
But what's up, Thelonious?
No, I'm saying, are we gonna have to? Do we owe Shannon money? Is she cleaning up after us?
Oh yeah, no, we definitely we're gonna start a Shannon fund. We got we got it.
When we got the Patreon, she getting a percentage.
Exactly, we'll give her a cut.
Grace tell her to do this. Keep your eye on
we got to give her a cut. We got to give Denise a cut. You know.
Yeah. We're gonna have some checks to write. That's fine. That's all right. Yeah. We'll cross that bridge.
Aside from financial matters. Yeah. Aside from the financial matters, though, that's one thing that the show does is, you know, you got Jessica Henwick, who, like I mentioned, is an actual person who has martial arts skills, unlike Finn Jones, which I don't know if we mentioned, but he is not a person.
Okay, so here's my pet peeve.
Yes, okay.
Why would you? I mean, Iron Fist is martial arts.
Right. So why would you cast? Right.
So I mean, everybody in the show ain't got no martial arts, but your lead character. I mean, if it's a mark, he should know. I mean,
well, he beats up people who were the actors actually know martial arts.
The laziest. I mean, oh my God, it was like,
yeah.
That's funny because I mean, like, isn't that also like? I mean, like you were saying, like the old Kung Fu series. I mean, Kwai Chang Caine, like he never had flashy fights. Mm-hmm. He had like a kind of judo thing going on. Like he would just like push people. You know, he would do this thing where he would like take their energy and then like they'd punch him and then he'd like move with it and drop him on the ground.
Right.
It was like that was like his
which was great when you're like you're 12 or 13. But
yeah,
we've been spoiled. We got MMA, you know, we got Daredevil, you know, we got Badlands, Into the Badlands. So you can't come with this 1970s choreography with somebody that doesn't actually know martial arts.
Right.
Exactly.
You can't do it, dog. The bar has been raised.
Yep.
And it'd be different if he was like an incredible actor, you know, just mad charisma, just like mad swag, you know what I'm saying? Or if he had like a physicality to him, he's not an incredible actor. He's not, I mean, you know, he's not like a super duper handsome, you know, Cass is, you know, whatever.
Charismatic. He's not like a beast. He's not like physical. He's not like your boy from Guardians of the Galaxy, the bald head dude. What's his name? Dax.
Yeah, he doesn't have that physicality, and he sucks at like martial arts. So what does he bring to the table?
What does he bring to the table? Privilege. Because what I was.
So can't you get a white dude that knows kung fu?
Well, no,
get a good-looking white dude that's
absolutely. You know, and you brought up my point is that like even if you are going to like not listen to everyone who's telling you like, look, it's a no-brainer to cast an Asian American actor. Even if you're going to do that and be like, hey, we're going to be traditional in our casting, you know, traditional in air quotes, then he's not even the right white man. Like I feel like there's you know an army of better white men to play this role if you had to do it.
I want to see the casting. I want to see who auditioned for that role. I mean, like I'm gonna go with the Night Flowers.
Well, Louis Tan was told that he was auditioning for that role.
For the role, yeah.
So it's almost like they had gold just dropped into their hands.
That could be just like some shit to put on their taxes.
It could be, yeah, absolutely. And sometimes with casting calls, they obviously say you're doing one thing and you're doing something.
And they pad that shit out so that later they can go to their investors and be like, "Yo, we tried 400 people." You know
what? I don't. As far as I think as far as for TV, I think it's kind of a golden era. Kind of reminiscent. Of the 90s with the Fresh Prince, Bill Cosby, Different World. I think for black people, it's kind of reliving that. It's like total Asian erasure.
But you know what though? I'm hopeful. I am hopeful that people will be heard, even if on this project, like the Asian the voicing of Asian community, even if it wasn't heard by Marvel and Scott Buck on this project, I feel like we're seeing little things here and there where like they know that, all right, we can't ignore Asian people indefinitely. I feel like they know that, and I feel like they're seeing like, Asian people have a platform to speak out, and it's happening. So they're gonna have to fall in line at some point.
Can we talk about and again, I haven't seen the show.
Yeah,
can we talk about my favorite thing about the Iron Fist? Was it yesterday that Marvel released their little bump trailer, their little look at what the critics have to say about Iron Fist. Did you see it?
Did you see it? God.
Did you see it?
Yes, I saw that madness.
It's like this trailer where like the first few seconds of it is like, look at all these Twitter handles saying they love the show. And it's like, dude, I looked up those Twitter handles. Those people are nobody. They put up a Twitter handle with a quote from someone who had 43 followers.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God, like you really.
It was, yes.
Yo,
it was. Yes.
It was sad as.
It was sad AF. Yeah, indeed.
Ooh.
Yeah, man. No, indeed.
It was hilarious. That was hilarious.
It was hilarious and sad at the same time. And no, it was shocking. Also, as someone who hasn't seen the show, I would argue that the 30 seconds of punching that you saw Danny doing in that little spot, that was pretty much all the fights in this.
That's it condensed into a bite.
Yeah, that was one of my biggest beefs.
Well, I mean, like, and also like, and I'm wondering this, and maybe someone can fill me in. But it's like when Luke Cage was rocking, we had Cheo up on Twitter tweeting. All right, I've got an echo. All right, we good. We had Cheo up on Thelonious. Are you echoing?
Yeah, we're echoing a little bit.
Let me log out and log back in. I just got back on.
All right, cool. So yeah, I was saying like Cheo was like kind of involved in the conversation online, where he was like tweeting out like memes and like he'd put a little like cool video about Luke Cage, and he was like thanking everybody and all this stuff. And there was something, I don't know, like organic, like everyone was so happy and like everybody was like freaking giving each other internet high fives and just like so like invested in the project. But it's like the only thing I've seen for Iron Fist is that Marvel produced trailer bump thing that they were.
Yeah.
But again, like, but also that's not my echo chamber. So I'm like, maybe that is happening somewhere on Twitter. Maybe there's like, these pockets of people who are just like tripping over themselves about how much they love this show, and I just don't see it. And there is that organic social media activity, and it's just, unbeknownst to me, because I'm just seeing like hilarious Iron Fist memes.
Okay, and that you raise a really good point, because that trailer is indicative of this backlash. I'm echoing too. All right. Anyway, you raise a really good point, because that trailer is indicative of this type of energy that I've seen around it, where everyone is like, oh, the critics are wrong. Oh, the critics are just complaining about, whitewashing and blah, blah, blah. And so it's almost like there's like, not almost like, it is a case where a lot of people, I can't speak for everybody. There might be like 10 people out there who genuinely thought this was an incredible series, but I would argue that there is a largely somewhat disingenuous
like backlash Twitter,
right? Absolutely, it's like a disingenuous segment of Twitter that feels like that with
Danny Rand is for us by us.
Yeah, and this isn't even me theorizing. I feel like they've proven it, in that like this segment of Twitter has complained like over and over about how they're so tired of SJWs and PC culture and blah blah blah. So you know what I'm saying? Like, so they're coming around, and they're talking about they feel that their whiteness is under attack, and so they need to champion this show, whether it's good or not, as a method of championing themselves and the threat that they feel that they're under. So, there's definitely a lot of that. And I definitely saw a decent amount of overlap of that Pepe Frog nonsense with some of the people who were big Iron Fist supporters. So take that for what it's worth. You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't know. I just feel that is a big part of this too. And that's a big part of what, has even driven up the viewership. And then honestly, there's a lot of hate viewership. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of us are hate watching it. If it was really, if I wasn't podcasting and I wasn't planning to speak about this tonight, I easily could have stopped at episode 5. Like, you know what I mean? I think I made it up to episode 9, and that's only because I was like, all right, let me watch so I can know what I'm speaking about on Friday.
Right. So, I was the one who didn't do his homework. You were all responsible, Marcus.
Nah, man. I think that I admire your self-care in without watching it.
Yeah, so. No, I mean, do you want to move to the next topic?
Yeah.
Or okay, all right, yeah, we've probably given enough to Mr. Fist. So I mean, like, it's not going to be a BlackComicsChat episode without like shouting out Valiant. And as I mentioned to you, I think briefly, Exo Manowar. We have a new #1. We have a Matt Kindt written series, which is a kind of, it's not a reboot. I think it's just like the continued adventures, like with a kind of other angle, and it's like a whole new story, a whole new era of Exo Manowar. It's getting really good reviews. I think it's been selling great. I am actually not totally sure that it's a super recommend yet. And I am a Matt Kindt fanatic. Like, I love Matt Kindt, and I love Valiant, and I love that he writes tons of Valiant books, and I love his Ninjak especially. But I don't really know where the book is going quite yet. It looks to be, at least from issue 1, much more war focused. There's definitely like different things about this particular like version of the character that it's such a preliminary issue. There's just not enough happening at where I know what's going to happen. On top of that, there's a weird choice in the book that Matt Kindt made, which I think some people have a huge problem with. But the Exo armor talks in it.
Okay, are we talking about like Kit and Michael Knight talks?
Yep. Good comparison.
Is it an internal voice that's like kind of like hooked into his mind, or is it like
unclear as of now? But I mean, you see it as a square word balloon. It's unclear if other people can hear it. It might just be like an interface with him directly. But even so, I was a little like weirded by that, but again, I have faith in Matt Kint, so I'm gonna say it's a tentative recommend right now. You know, like he definitely can take his time with a story, and I believe like it might go like somewhere cool. But right now, I wasn't as enthusiastic about it as I expected to be.
But and you said there's only one issue so far.
It just came out. Yeah, it came out like this week. Yeah,
okay,
number 1. So yeah,
I'll definitely check it out because I like Matt Kint and I like XO. So
yeah, no, I know, and I mean, like, you know, there is going to be that thing, right, where you're coming to this series, like, where I just adored Robert Venditti's run on his 50-issue run on the series. Like, I loved it through and through, front to back, and I thought it was so creative, like the places he took the story, and they're very different types of writers, you know, on the whole, even though I love them both. So I expected it could be worth it later on. Right now, tentative recommendation: XO Man and War #1. The art's great. I mean, like it's a valiant book. It's definitely not shabby. There's nothing that's shabby about it. I just wasn't as excited about the story as I thought I would be.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm definitely, you know, hopefully it's a thing where, you know, once you give it like 2 or 3 issues, it really settles into place.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, when is the next issue of Snow Days coming out?
I'm glad that you asked.
Yeah, it's funny you asked that. Snow Days? Oh, what do you mean the comic that me and Marcus do? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. No doubt. Well, I've been hard at work on art duties on Snow Days, and I am giving myself a rock solid deadline of July. You know, I'd actually planned for it to be out by now, but you know, life definitely intervened, and I've recently found a good balance of, you know, kind of juggling it with the increased responsibilities of my 9 to 5. So I'm in a good flow, you know, and it's coming together. So it will be here by summertime. You'll get your winter comic in summertime.
So I guess here's the thing, man, and for all creatives who got a full-time job in the day, and also got like a family. You can't have it all. If you're doing one thing, you're not doing another. I can't. I actually can't speak for Marcus and Leo. But
yeah, no, I mean, yeah.
You're talking about
if I'm writing, yeah. If I'm writing, that means I'm missing something that one of my daughters is doing, or I'm not being as attentive as I can to my partner, and so it's a struggle, man. So I was wondering, you know, if I could interview you cats for a while. How do you guys balance that?
Oh yeah, no doubt. You want to take it first, Leo?
Yeah, very poorly. Very, very poorly. No, like you know, like it's tricky because, you know, like you said, like being independent creators, it's not the type of thing. It's like, okay, if we're in a situation, you know, Marcus has a family. We're in a situation where Marcus is getting offered to do work somewhere, or work on Snow Days for no upfront money, even though like it's our passion project. I'm never gonna tell him to, like, you know, batten down the hatches and just get to doing our comic book. I'm gonna be like, you'll get that paper. So I mean, that's probably like the main thing that's slowed down some production on the comic, if anything. You know, and then also is the fact that, you know, we got denied by Oni's investigation for a new talent of color, which I'm not bitter about at all. No.
I'm sorry, what happened?
So it's funny, man. Like, so like from the start, like when we were talking about like if we were ever going to take Snow Days to a publisher, we always talked about Oni Press, because not only do I really like Oni Press, but I always felt like Oni Press had the kind of sensibility in the work that they produce to host something like strange like Snow Days. And so Oni, you know, it was pretty early on when we started doing BlackComicsChat. I think we started working on a pitch because they never really accept pitches, but they opened a specific pitch because they were looking for new comic work by marginalized writers and creators. Right. So we threw our pitch in. JN Monk, who's a you know, BlackComicsChat guest and fan, he also threw a pitch to Oni. I was really excited about this pitch. I was more excited this pitch than I should have been, because I always felt Oni would have been the ideal home, and we busted our asses on it, and we got a form letter, you know, rejection, not even like a freaking like read through or anything, and I was, you know, as I said, I'm not bitter at all about it. But But yeah, so like that's a different story. Like if that had kind of like lifted off, the momentum of the comic would have been far different than it is now. As it stands, though, I don't want to throw any shade on like Marcus's work ethic at all. Since picking it back up again, like Marcus is a third of the way done with the like primary pencils and all that. So I'm super jazzed, and it's coming together, and it looks great. I'm getting all
So
excited.
let me ask you this, man. Do you guys ever feel like those 40-year-old rappers be like, I'm going to hit one day?
Yeah.
You know?
So let me, I'll take that one.
Go, please.
No, because it's it's a very good question. And ironically for me, high school, I knew I wanted to work in comics. It wasn't even like, oh, I'm not one of those people that's like, hey, I turned 38 and I just decided, let me try comics, or like, somebody threw a script at me. It's like I knew that was what I wanted to do. I've spoken on the show in the past about, the fact that, I'm an immigrant. I came here with my parents from Jamaica when I was very young. But we definitely had that, my family definitely had that immigrant kind of like, you must achieve and, find something stable type of mentality, where like, seeking success and seeking something that would be a stable path to success. And, drawing comic books definitely didn't necessarily,
didn't fit the bill.
Fit that mold. Yeah. That being said, I definitely gotta give a shout out, my parents, especially my mom. They knew, they were definitely supportive. I almost feel like maybe, they just looked at me and was like, well, that's just what he wants to do is art. You know what I mean? So it wasn't even like don't be an artist, but it was like maybe try to find the most profitable, vein of being an artist, like being a teacher or et cetera, which I am teaching now, and as well as other duties. But that was the thing. So it's like I went away to school and I got involved in various other types of art too, fine art. Not only that, like, just being in college and have a social life and everything, like comics, reading comics and kind of creating comics, it became less of the plan. You know what I mean? Then I got out of school and it was like, yo, I gotta make some paper and keep a roof over my head. So, I got jobs that were comfortable, but they did not at all involve comics. So needless to say,
they were in your field though. You were doing design.
Yeah. I did after doing some kind of temping and stuff that was very officey. I did end up working at my current job where I teach art, as well as some other administrative things. But I wasn't drawing comics. I was doing a lot, and then like Leo and I would kind of start a project here and there over the years and not necessarily finish it. And I had some short comic projects, but I wasn't really in it, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't until like, when did we really start kicking around? Was it like about Snow Days? Was it?
It was the mid 2000s. I mean, had we already like recorded a bunch of music by
No, it was more like 10 or 11.
Yeah, that's like when it really started. Like, yeah, it really started lifting off. But that's like part of the thing too. Is just that like I've known Marcus for like a really long time, and it was like pretty early on. I think like we just kind of like developed a collaborative language, and so like Marcus and I don't want to like bump ourselves up too much, but like I think Marcus and I could basically create anything, because like we've done music and we've done like poetry and we've done like all the stuff. So it's like when we do comics, like we just have like a way to communicate about them that's kind of effortless and like is very fluent. So it's like
Captain Leonard.
Yeah, for real. Oh, that's a good reference. Did you watch that?
Yeah, that's my show.
Actually, that was one of my things I wanted. That's one of my things I wanted to speak about tonight.
Oh, interesting. I mean, yeah, we could talk about what happened later.
Wait a minute. Me and Leo agree on something.
I don't think it was like the greatest, but it has a lot of promise and it had great things in it.
Okay, and there's a qualifier. Okay, we're good.
No, there's a qualifier, but it was cool. It was cool.
But so I mean, have you guys ever? I know you guys are old hip hop heads. Remember that EPMD joint? Listen to my demo.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how a lot of creatives feel. Black creatives, particularly that don't have the industry behind them, that are self-published. They just, I mean, cats is just like, dog, just listen to my. I mean, I'll give it to you for free.
Yeah.
And there's so much product out there right now. I'd be like, dog, I'm sorry, I don't have time, bro.
Well, check this out. I mean, I hear what you're saying. Like, I think for me, right, you know, and Leo can definitely speak on his end of that. I'm not necessarily in please listen to my demo mode. I would say, like, when we did the Oni pitch, absolutely. Like, you know, we did want them to listen to our demo, and we believed in our demo, and we still do. If anything, you know, that door closing kind of strengthened my resolve in the long run about Snow Days and what we're doing, because like there's so many. I believe in this book. I know what it is. You know, Leo and I have only revealed but so much about where the story is going, but like, you know, we know where it's going in the long run, and you know, I mean, I believe in it, and I'm kind of, especially with all the creatives that we've spoken on the show with, and these indie creators, I'm very much more into the idea of forging our own path where we will have that creative control to really see it through. Now, don't get me wrong, you know, we definitely I definitely want to eat, so I'm not like saying you know, I don't want to make any money from comics, but you know, I believe in what we're doing, and I also believe in forging a path. And you know, Leo and I have especially once issue 2 is finished, we have an idea of where we want to go on a business level and like how we want to approach it. And I can definitely share a little bit about that because I think it is important to just kind of like float that, but we are definitely important, because like, you know, with crowdfunding, you definitely need to, you know, let people know that you're going to be doing it before it drops. You don't want to say on the day of, you know.
That's true. That's the Sean Pryor method. Sean Pryor's always
absolutely
feeding people about the projects that are like 6 months away.
Right, absolutely.
You guys ain't gonna do a Beyonce just drop.
Yeah, well, you know,
the midnight drop, the like D'Angelo drop.
Beyonce and D'Angelo became Beyonce and D'Angelo before they did that. So you know, but I'm you know, I'm like halfway to Beyonce, halfway I would say. You know, don't come at me, Beehive. I'm joking. But anyway, what I was about to say is like, yeah. So our idea is, our plan is, you know, when issue 2 is complete, we'll be, you know, well on our way to the first collected volume of Snow Days. So we're going to, you know, get that done, go right on to working on issue 3, and at that point, you know, kickstart the first collected volume of Snow Days that we're going to be.
So let me ask you this, man. So you guys have made a conscious decision to make a good comic book, and it's not salacious. It's not, and as a as an artist, you have the skill set to make something that's more eye-catching, eye-grabbing. But you chose to go something that's more artistic, that would resonate more long-term. How did you balance that? Be like, we could you know, make something more radical or eye-catching or eye-popping, but that's not what we consider art. So let's go with something that's more grounded, that's more real, that's more.
You mean like because there's no butt shots? Is that?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying. What you got? I mean, because you could be more provocative and surprise, but you didn't go that route.
Yeah, I mean, like I think Marcus and I have like a very had a very decided vision for like what this particular beast is, and you know, and a lot of it is also fed from like its inspirations and like the things that inform it, and whatever those things that inform it, I don't think would have rendered Snow Days in a way that was like conveniently digestible by like some kind of, you know, more popular metric. I think the people who like Snow Days really do like it, but it's not. Again, like where some of the things that inform it are stuff like, you know, Love and Rockets and Stray Bullets, which are like 2 of like Marcus and my favorite comics. Right. And like those are 2 comics that like from the start have never compromised for shit. They're just what they are.
Right. Yeah, and if I could jump in, yeah, definitely totally agree with that. And so as far as, so Leo and I, we definitely, like you mentioned, we go way back, and like, you know, I love the comics, like we shared comics and like spoken about comics extensively, and have a lot of the same favorites. And you know, definitely my comic tastes are pretty diverse. You know, but first and foremost, I do love indie comics. I love the richness of it. I love how in a lot of ways it can do everything the film can, and then in some ways it can do more. I mean, you know, it's there's a certain like creative flexibility that's really incredible about indie comics, in particular. So I look at it like, you know, like Leo mentioned, we have this vision of it, and you know, there's certain things we're trying to achieve on a story level that just lend themselves to the aesthetic that we've created. But in addition to that, I don't know, man. Like I think that what my goal for it was something that kind of came from how I saw the story looking, but I did also want to kind of create something that I don't know if I plotted it out in clear words in my head this way, but I wanted something that, you know, had some manga influence and you know, some like gritty you know, Stray Bullets type of David Latham art, or Love and Rockets type art. But I also wanted, because you know I love black and white art, but I also wanted something that had just this little edge of Saturday morning cartoons. And it's like, I feel like what I'm doing is a weird combination of all those things.
It's all, yeah, it layers everything on top of each other. It's like all the things you just said. Like it is kind of gritty, it's kind of Saturday morning cartoon. I don't think I've heard you describe it that way. That's a good way to put it.
Well, yeah, and the reason why I kind of came to that point is because our story, it exists between worlds in a lot of ways, because it's like, you know, now that we've kind of gotten to the point where we actually have an elevator pitch, like a big point that we come
what's your elevator pitch? Let me hear it.
All right, you want to take this, Leo?
No, I'm which elevator pitch you talking about, man? Do we have an elevator?
Well, I'm talking about the one. All right. Well, I think we do. I'll give it to you. You know, Snow Days is a book which takes place in a you know, small suburban city / town that's like, you know, quickly become more diverse. It's not traditionally diverse, but it's quickly become more diverse. And you have this influx of black and brown people into this community that's not accustomed to it. And, you know, 3 of whom are the primary members of Nolo's snow shoveling business. And, you know, there's a lot more to it, but essentially their business becomes way more lucrative than they ever dreamed it would. And with that comes like a myriad of problems and issues. And the point that I was going to bring up in that relates to what I was talking about with the art is the fact that one of the things that we really wanted to drive home is that Snow Days kind of investigates that bridge and that area between childhood and adulthood, and how, like, you know, it's different for different kids depending on their family situation, their family structure, their class, you know, and this a great many things.
And their ethnic makeup. Like, these things do affect the way that we mature in society.
Yeah, yeah. And so it's like, with that idea that we're dealing with something that, you know, and also, like, well, I forgot one of the key lines in our elevator pitch is that they're trying on the clothes of adulthood in a way. You know what I mean? Like, they're obviously not adults, but they're in that in between place, and a lot of what they're doing business wise and otherwise is them trying on those adult clothes. So we had to kind of bridge the gap of, like, you know, these adults, and I don't mean adult as in rated R, you know,
right,
crazy
just like responsibilities, maturity.
Yeah, like grown up business. You know what I mean? With the fact that they're still kids and they're still, you know, in school and, you know, dealing with all the things that school kids deal with. So, you know, to me it was kind of natural to have a style that was kind of, you know, in between this gritty book, this gritty look and you know, animation.
Yeah, no, the style informs the subject matter and vice versa.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, I guess the reason I asked, because I think we mentioned here, we're kind of in the golden era of a re-golden era of black television. And the other night, Shots Fired came on. And it was like my second time viewing it. And I had the first 15 minutes watching it, you know, you have reservations about, you don't know which direction it's going to go. And you could see where and everybody knows I'm a fan of the Bythewood, so I ain't, you know, full disclosure. But you could see.
Yeah, this is you're entrenched in this, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I mean, so I did have reservation after the first 15 minutes, because just the way that it opened up with the black cop shooting a white kid, and but then you could see where the Bythewoods made a decision not to sensationalize it. right? Where they could have done the ratings thing and kind of blew it up and this and that, but they made an attempt to kind of ground it and
make it more nuanced.
well they went I to me I compared to the art direction that you guys went with Snow Days, right? And so I think if they could have been, I think if they would have been more provocative, more sensational, I think they probably would have got more eyes. But I think that might hurt their product in the long run. And from listening to you and Mark, and if you guys haven't seen Shots Fired or Red Snow Days, you know, you're missing out for real. But I think the decision they made is going to benefit them. It's a 10-part series. I think it's going to benefit them in the long run. Because
it's once a 10-part series, not a non-running, not a
no, it's one time. But once you make the decision to sensationalize something, you kind of have to raise the bar to keep people coming back because it's like a drug, right?
Right.
I mean, if somebody turns into you because you're provocative and you do provocative sensationalize it, you kind of keep having to raise the bar because that's the only thing that they're there for. But if you rely on storytelling, rely on art, you might not get the numbers at first, but hopefully it builds and your audience grows. And from listening to you guys talk about Snow Days, man, I still haven't heard the 15th second the elevator.
Yeah, no, pitch. you got the overblown.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, it might be a little bit more.
Unless we straight in the elevator. You know,
we stuck in the elevator pitch. Yeah, we got
that's what's up. You know what? Let's shake up the paradigm, man.
The trapped in the elevator pitch.
You're like, excuse me, why I hit this emergency button?
Yeah, you're pressing all the buttons. You're jamming like a wrench in the. You open the little door thing and you're just jamming a wrench in there. You're like, just one second.
After watching 9 episodes of Danny Rand being sneaky, I think I can handle that.
Dude,
I can hit that. I can hit that button without them seeing.
Kung fu ever.
Okay, we don't have to go back into that.
Oh man.
But no.
But Leo knows this about me, man. Like fight choreography is like my pet peeve, man. I mean,
I know. No, and you want to know. You want to think is kind of like extra fucked up about Iron Fist, just again from like what I'm familiar with it.
Because we can't say enough messed up things about Iron Fist.
Yeah, no, I know, but like one of the extra things about it is that, you know, I liked Daredevil season 2. That being said, I remember reading, some really interesting articles from some of our Asian brothers and sisters about the representation of the Asian actors and actresses in the fights, how they're kind of like relegated to like, you know, Power Ranger putties for like, you know, the second half of season 2. And I'm like, that's a really valid point. And like I was like checking my ignorance because I was like, that didn't really strike me. It didn't strike me because of like where I come from and the fact that I'm like kind of used to seeing that shit, and it really didn't think about it. But then I couldn't stop thinking about it after they said that. And it's like, this is like one of the things that like Marvel is coming to Iron Fist from. And it's like they made some extremely salient points about that. And that's the kind of feedback that, as you know, as a host of creative work, you wanna really ponder and integrate into your future projects. And it looks like they didn't listen to shit. And that's one of the most disappointing things about it.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna, you know, I mean, I really got enough ammo to bash Irish Fist all night, but it's too easy.
It's right.
Yeah. At a certain point, you got you know. But I will say that you know, let's keep up the fight, man. Of voicing. Making our voices heard, because as much as you know, it's funny because I look at the desperation of that whole like the fans have spoken trailer as this it is desperate, you know what I'm saying, because it's almost like see, somebody likes us,
right
you know? So I think in the long run they're gonna have to listen. I don't know how well they'll listen, and I don't know how many tries they're gonna have to do before they listen, but you know, like the Asian communities aren't going anywhere, you know, and you know, Black folks aren't.
They're just getting louder. We all are,
absolutely,
but they're definitely getting louder this year for sure. With everything that's friggin' going on.
Yeah. Let's go, man. Let's get our Latin brothers and sisters, like, you know, let's make some noise too, and
absolutely
keep going.
Leo, you're Latin, right?
I am. I'm a Latin brother.
That was a smooth segue. I like that.
Man, you know what? The smoothest type of segue is the one that's pointed out. You know?
Right.
That's always the best.
Was I too direct? Be like,
no, it's good. No, it's good. It was good. It's good.
No,
Black, right? Like, yes, I am.
I'm still waiting. You know, it's funny you bring that up because, and again, in accordance with Marvel, like I still haven't. I'm interested, but I still haven't seen Ant-Man, simply for the reason that like I really was hating the the Michael Pena Tio Tomming in the trailers for that, and I was like,
dude.
That's the first time I've heard that term. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I've been trying to
I thought Ant-Man was like dope, and then Tony Latin Negro
Anthony Otero.
Yeah, Anthony Otero. He was like, man, nah, that, and I was like, really?
Yeah,
I got to side with him. Yeah.
I've read other interpretations from Latinx people who have actually said that he's not that bad in it, and that maybe the trailer made him look worse than he did. I don't know. I have not actually seen it yet, but the trailer made him look like a gibbering idiot, and I was really uncomfortable with that, with just seeing him in that, and that's why I haven't seen the movie.
Well, look, having seen it and having similar reservations, I will say this. I think that Michael Pena he's a fantastic actor, and yes, he is, and he's a charismatic actor, and I think his charisma, not unlike what I was talking about with Jessica Henwick, I think his charisma
pushes through.
Yeah, he took what he was given, and he did a really good job with what he was given. I think within the framework of the movie, and not only with that, the fact that these things aren't created in a vacuum. And there's a history of Latinx and just people of color in general becoming the punchline in things and the comedic buddy. Like I think it fell really neatly into that comedic buddy role. And I think they asked him for a very specific thing. And what it made me think of was kind of like that whole deal that Aziz Ansari dealt with in Master of None, where he had the auditions, where he had the idea of going in for an audition, and they're like, oh, could you do it a little bit more Indian, and this, that, and the third, and like I felt like that's what I was seeing with Michael Pena. Like I think they're taking this man that has like a lot of range as an actor, and they were telling him, you do this one specific thing that, to be quite honest, felt very 90s. Like it's kind of like the way that everybody
see Hollywood Shuffle.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It looked super 90s too, like that. Yeah.
It's like the way that any Latin character would have been represented in a 90s blockbuster film, like And
I didn't see that until it was pointed out. Then I was like, oh, okay, I got you. Yeah,
like he's the comic relief, like you know what I mean. Like I think he did with what he was given. I think he did a lot with what he was given, but like he was the comic relief.
But he's one of my favorite.
Michael Pena.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think he's hilarious.
Jan Monk actually just commented that he added that stuff into himself, and that it's not in either version of the script.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, like I guess a lot of the content he brought to that was even like.
Where does Jan Monk get his information from?
Jan, dude, don't question Jan.
No, Jan, yeah, man, he does his thing, man.
Yeah, he knows tons.
He's out there, man. He's doing what he does.
He is out there in a big way. Oh, speaking of Jan Monk, man. Yo, I should take a photo. I forgot. I got my hard copy of Enough Space for Everyone Else. Did you order a hard copy from the Kickstarter?
I did. I didn't get mine yet. Well, you got it this week?
It's a big ass book. Yeah, I got it like Monday or something. It is a
really. Hey, let's tweet out the link. Can I get it on Amazon? Where can you get it from?
Jan's
I believe you can.
Jan, you want to?
He's listening. Yo, he's typing it up right now. He's like,
yeah. He's typing it up before you asked. But yeah, I got it.
Just refresh your feed, man.
Yeah, it's a big ass book. It's awesome. Oh yeah, there's something I wanted to say before we moved on to like some promotional topics as we get close to wrapping the show. I just want to make a note about Marcus in this week's show notes. My favorite thing about it was that in under topics he mentioned Iron Fist, aka Netflix's newest boardroom drama, which I think is really it's really good. Iron Fist, Marvel's new boardroom drama property that's being presented.
That's pretty much what it is.
I don't want to go back into it, but man,
I know. I'm really sorry. Is. I couldn't.
You're pulling me in, man. You're pulling me in.
I had to mention that before we kind of like got rolling. I wanted to make mention of Women in Comics Con tomorrow, mañana.
Yes.
For everybody in New York. This is
shout out to Regine.
Shout out to Regine Sawyer. This is WinkCon. I have a link here that I'll share in our hashtag. There are still free tickets. Yes, there are. There are still free RSVPs, and it starts at 11. There's panels. There's artists. There's a wet t-shirt contest. Psych. I'm kidding. There's no wet t-shirt contest. I'm kidding. It's a joke.
Patriarchy.
It's a joke. WinCon is really cool. It is. I think it's something that kind of like gets bigger and better every year. It is at the Bronx Library on East Kingsbridge. Right off of Fordham. Y'all know where it is. And it's gonna be awesome. And I am definitely gonna be there tomorrow. So everybody that's like in New York chilling, I highly recommend that y'all come out to this, and I will share a link. So go.
I'm gonna have to come out to New York, and we're gonna do the show live someplace.
No, I cannot wait for that. I cannot wait for that. We are definitely gonna do it. I'm gonna see if you're as angry in person about all the shit I like.
Do I come off as angry?
No, I'm kidding.
Because I can tone it down.
I'm playing, fam. But
yeah, we're sharing information though on WinkCon, man. Everybody make it out. I know if you've listened to the episodes with Regine, like there you'll definitely want to be there if you're anywhere in the area.
Yeah, Regine's a monstrous talent, and there's a lot of like really cool panels. I know that she's obviously going to be involved in panels and going to be tabling as well. But check out in the link I tweeted, I put their Twitter account. If for some reason you're not following them yet, they've been tweeting out stuff about panel information. So go to their Twitter handle, check out their website, you'll find stuff.
Right, and also there's another hashtag that everybody needs to follow, retweet to bring visibility. The missing DC girls.
Oh,
yes, most definitely, yes.
Yeah.
This is getting picked up a little bit, right? I feel like there's
since yesterday it has. Yeah. It has. Well, I've actually seen some.
Ebony or Root run a story on it, and then I don't know if it was a Congressional Black Caucus or just like some Black congressmen had a meeting with like the FBI or whatever. And they're like, pretend they stole Tom Brady's jersey.
Right. Make it real. Make it real for them.
Well, it's sad. I don't laugh because it's funny. I laugh because it's sad. But
yeah, same. It is. It's fucked up because like people online are going to all different kinds of theories about what's going on. And there's so little information and there's so little response from the authorities that you're like, yeah, I mean, who knows what to think? Like, it's not even people are overreacting.
If it was like a monster movie, like the one segment of the population that could just like disappear with like little to no, repercussions would be like, children of color, and specifically, a little boys and girls of color, because it was like 12 in a week or something.
There's 14. Was it 14 in a week, or is it 14?
How is this not like the leading story? How do I have to find this out on Twitter?
I don't know. I mean, because seriously, all the white people would be in the theater tweeting about this movie, except this is actually happening and no one's talking about it.
Absolutely. Right. And you know what? I definitely, this is one of the things, as much as we complain about some of the craziness of Twitter, where I'm grateful for the reach, because honestly, I don't live in DC, so I wouldn't even have known about this if not for Twitter.
People in DC don't know about it. It's not like on the news.
It's true. That's right.
Right, absolutely. So, but this is a case of, and clearly we all know, I'm pretty sure everyone listening to this show is familiar with the fact that, missing, which Leo and Thelonious mentioned just now, that, missing children of color don't receive the same level of attention as when it happens to to white children who are missing. So this is a long standing, right. This is a long standing issue, and like I'm grateful in whatever small measure that like Twitter has been able to move the needle. People voicing this has been able to move the needle a little bit, where it's like forced some media attention. And I mean, I think if we keep spreading the word, that hopefully it will get louder, especially, and lead to some action.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's a sobering topic, but I'm glad you brought it up, Thelonious.
Yeah, I mean, so get on the hashtag, man, and tweet, retweet. We got to get some eyes on this, man. As a matter of fact, I'll I'll tweet out the hashtag so that
and I've definitely been
people
sharing
can
some
know.
things throughout the day.
Yeah,
Right.
I've been trying to share it whenever I can, and share people who are talking about it in greater detail. Yeah, I know that some of them. I know that Sean King was tweeting earlier today that like a few of the individuals that are on this list have been missing for longer, and then a bunch of them are very recent. So there are like some individuals there who have been missing for
Remember when everybody had that hashtag Save Our Girls?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I mean, we don't. I mean, and again, I don't want to become desensitized as to what happens overseas, but we need to save like our girls here too.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And so this is, another Save Our Girls, Missing DC Girls. And if you can, tweet, retweet, and let's get this trending and make it visible.
Yeah, most definitely.
I totally agree. Are there I don't know if there are other what's up, Marcus? You got something?
I had something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had something. I definitely wanted to shout out this Kickstarter, which I just learned about this week. And ironically, it's something that's local to me. You know, I'm in the Albany, New York area.
Dude, nothing's local to you.
So, well, this is the one time it actually is. You know. But there's what looks like a super dope documentary called Black Ink: People of Color in the Comics Industry. It's a documentary that's it's going to be on Kickstarter. Well, it is on Kickstarter. Yeah, the campaign is happening right now. I'm working like, pretty much when we get off the mic, I'm gonna try to like make it happen to connect with them and see if we can speak to them and get them on.
We've had most of the people in this movie on the show.
I know, it's kind of crazy. Like if you like Black Comics Chat, you will really enjoy this, because it's like they're people that are speaking to are pretty much our guest list, like, going back a couple of years. So definitely some really dope people. And I was impressed just with the trailer, because sometimes you see some films on Kickstarter, and like, it might look a little rough, but it looks like they really it looks like they really like what they're doing. They know their filmmaking. And
Marcus subtweeting Kickstarter movies. All right, man, go on.
Nah, man.
Come on, man. You can sub people.
I said some. I said like a couple.
I heard you. I heard what you said.
Like two. No. By no means did I. Disclaimer. No. It's all good. But in all seriousness, I'm going to tweet it out in momentarily, and like definitely check it out and support Black Ink, because it's really good, and they have good taste, man. They spoke to the people that we love to speak to, and it's really looks like a really great project. So
this looks
support
great.
it. I don't actually think they're on Twitter. I've seen people share the link on Twitter, but I don't think they're on Twitter. So I'll definitely find where you can find more information and get that out to you. So, but support them.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I also want to give a shout, because this will happen before the next episode of Black Comics Chat. I will be. I just was today, based on some stuff. I know we were talking about Legion and how much Thelonious loves it, but it turns out that
I'm not quite sure that's how the conversation went. Go ahead.
I'm going to be on the Graphic Policy Radio show on Monday, April 3rd. I think that's a Monday. Monday.
I think you're right.
At 10 p.m. and I will be talking up Legion, because that's going to be the subject of an episode. So, all y'all that follow me, like, I'll put out some more announcements as we get closer to that date. But yeah, if you want to hear me, talk about Legion with some people who have a little more to say about it, that'll be a good outlet to find that.
I think I'm doing something, but I wish you the best.
Wow. The hate is oozing through your store.
That's the BCC solidarity, my brother. That's cool, man. Cool.
Let the hate flow through you.
Oh man, and yeah, speaking of, we got to get into this soon, but I finally saw Rogue One, and I have tons of stuff to say about it. But Thelonious has not seen it yet, so we're gonna.
I wasn't gonna rent it tonight, like on the TV thing. I was like,
get it, man. We can talk about
it. Let's talk about it next episode, because I have a ton of stuff to say.
All right, cool. We'll do that.
Right. Awesome.
It was amazing. That's all I gotta say. No, but anyway, yeah, we will definitely get into that soon. Yeah. What? Anything else? I wanted to shout out real quick. I know we're wrapping up, but I definitely wanted to. We mentioned Hap and Leonard early in the show. I've only seen 3 episodes, but I definitely.
First season?
Yeah, first season. Yeah.
Okay.
Have you seen it in its entirety?
What are you
talking about? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I just started it, but I'm really digging it.
Wait. I missed the name of the show.
Hap and Leonard.
Oh, sorry. Hap and Leonard.
Leonard. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like the show based on what's his name's books, on the first one, on Joe R. Lansdale's series.
Right.
About a white guy and his black gay best friend solving crimes in the bayou.
Yeah, but man,
you make it sound really bad and cheesy.
It's okay, I liked it. I think it was renewed, and I was almost a little surprised that it was renewed, because I heard exactly nobody talking about this at all, not even people writing articles about it or anything. I really love that series. I think Hap and Leonard, the characters, are absolutely fantastic characters. I couldn't imagine a better person for the character than Michael K. Williams. I could not think of a better.
Has he had a bad role though? Everything he plays, I'm like,
he's pretty much great, but that's still an especially great cast. Like to put him in that was like really, really good. And interestingly, like are you familiar with the white actor with his counterpart?
I wasn't, but I thought he did his thing as well. Yeah.
You know that like they're like super friends, right? Like that's why they cast them together. Yeah, they're like
that's awesome.
They're like actual JD and Turk. They're like they're like really, really close buds. I think they were.
Well, we might have to fight them over that. I thought we had JD and Turk locked down.
I know they might out JD and Turk. I'm not sure. We're gonna have to investigate that.
Okay. All right. We'll see.
Yeah, no, I think that show has a bunch to recommend. I don't think in the end it was like on the top of my list after all was said and done, but I wanted to see what else they do with it. The story they adapted for season 1, which is the first book they adapted, is a kind of tricky, difficult book to introduce characters. It makes more sense in a book to introduce characters with the plot line as it progresses, but it makes less sense as a TV show. And that's why I was worried about it getting picked up. But they like the adventures they have later on are in my opinion like much better showcases of their relationship. That one is kind of strange. And if it was me, if I was the showrunner for that, I wouldn't have made that the first season. I would have made it like second season and just like switched up the story. That's me though. That's mad insider baseball. That's just because I come from knowing the property, but it's cool though. I don't have a lot of negative to say about it. Yeah, Hap and Leonard.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I just want to shout out Michael K. Williams, man, because that dude is, he's the man. Like, he
out all day.
he's got an ability to bring a level of complexity to a role that I feel like in other hands, wouldn't have been like I don't know if I really got to talk about how much I dug The Night Of, but I definitely liked what he did with his character. I did, yes, I did, yeah, and I really enjoyed it thoroughly. But I really liked what Michael K. Williams did there as well. I felt like that character, again, like, in other hands might have had a little less complexity.
True that. He was not one note in that at all. Most of the characters weren't.
And obviously, like, the way he delivers dialogue and everything is great. But I think that his quiet moments, like, he does a lot silently that I think, not every actor is going to bring to the table necessarily.
Yeah, I totally agree. I also think The Night Of the series premiere of The Night Of is like one of my favorite series premieres in a very long time. Episode 1 is totally incredible. It was a good show.
Yep. So now that's a show that takes place largely in buildings with people with suits that actually is engaging. You know what I'm saying? So it can be done.
That's right. It's not the tools they're working with or anything.
Exactly.
That's not what it's about. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah. But man,
the lawyer on that is super dope too.
Hey, yo.
Oh, you mean John Turturro?
Sign out.
All right, no, man. I think we're wrapping up the show.
We're gonna wrap up.
I want to shout out to all like the awesome people. I want to shout out to our editor Shannon Miller, and shout out the awesome.
Wait, she did not accept that role though.
Yeah, man. No, she's supposed to say that. It's fun. We have an understanding. I just want to give a shout out to
wow.
Shannon Miller about to come
that was yo, that was a little Danny Rand right there. I'm not gonna lie, man. You just
no,
that's not how you throw a punch.
No, I have nothing but love for those women, and nothing but love for Nerds of Prey, which is an awesome podcast you should be listening to, along with Misty Knight's Uninformed Afro.
Shut up.
Black Girl Nerds podcast, and all these other kinds.
So you're trying to get in good graces after okay, right? I feel you. I'm gonna clean it up. Go ahead. Any more?
Listen. You got. You know what? You got to pet the dog too. You got to like give this. You got to give him scratches behind the ear. No, I'm kidding. They know, like, Nerds of Prey.
You gonna go with that analogy?
No. Stop, Thelonious. Stop trapping me. Stop trapping me, dog. No, like obviously, like we love Nerds of Prey. We've had them on. We still need to have half of that podcast.
Yeah, we're working on that. We are working on
that.
Good luck getting them now.
All right, Thelonious, can you ask?
What makes you think they like me?
Wow.
Big off for big.
We will be speaking to Nerds of Prey.
Oh man, I'm just digging the hole deeper.
What you ask Marcus to talk to him? He don't want people like.
Yeah, Marcus, handle this.
I'm the babysitter, man. I'm the responsible babysitter of the crew, man. I got this.
Use your last cool points to clean up this mess Leo made, dog.
Oh man, but yeah. No, and just thank all the awesome audience that checked in. Thank Denise at O Writing on Twitter and JN Monk. And I saw Bill from Rosarium getting in the chat, which is cool. Tony Snark got up in here.
Tony Stark is all. I got to read his latest book, man.
I hope he's coming to Wink.
Man.
He better come to Wink tomorrow. I might have to.
Man, I'm telling you, man, that dude could write. I mean, I ain't gonna.
Yeah. Well, we want to have you on the show, Tony. So
Is he still listening?
Yo, word.
I thought he dropped when Leo start talking.
Oh my goodness. This is a player haters ball, man, with Thelonious.
It is, and he's just still mad at me that I like Legion so much. That's fine. That's all right.
Man, you talk for Legion for the first half of the show, dog.
I mean, we could keep going about Legion.
No, I'm good.
I'm with Leo, man. I'm with Leo.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm distracting everybody. Marcus, put a bow on this.
Okay, cool, man. Well, like Leo mentioned, man, shout out to all our lovely listeners, man. You guys, you smell good, you look good, and you guys are popping in the streets, as the kids are saying,
Flawless.
But yeah, man, we love y'all. We will be back at you very soon. We're gonna have guests again in April, but we hope you enjoyed this episode of Nothing But Our Silky Smooth Voices. And shout out to Grace, most definitely. And we will be back at you sooner than later. Oh, and real quick, the podcast feed will be updated soon. We're just working on some things and restructuring, but we will be getting episodes up there as well. And in the meantime, there are 40 plus episodes on there. So definitely, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to our podcast feed and throw us some ratings. We definitely hear good feedback all the time on social media, but we need them on on iTunes and Stitcher as well. So, if you can show us some love, I'm trying to get better about throwing ratings at the shows I enjoy. So just if you could do that for us as well. So we love y'all and peace out.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Laters.